Plane just landed. What's going on, baby? So glad that you guys are here. Welcome to the experience. Welcome to the journey. Holy shit, what's that there on the background there? Give me a second, okay? That looks really odd. I thought it would look amazing on camera. It doesn't look that good. Hi, what's going on? By the way, if you don't know who I am, you don't need to know who I am. Or the only thing you need to know is that I teach literature, baby. And what literature are we talking about today? We are talking about the A-level syllabus, arts syllabus literature. We are not only talking about literature because the subject is not called English Lit, it's called English, which means it has English language and literature inside of it. Can you believe that? It's like marrying two, it's like having two children, right? It's like not only are you going to focus on English language, but you're also going to focus on English literature because it's called subject number 73, baby. And I am the most hated teacher who teaches subject number 73 in the art syllabus. Because why though? Why am I hated? My pupils love me. Give me 1 second, by the way. Okay, that looks really ugly. Give me one moment, okay? I thought it'll look like amazing on camera, but now it looks so, really odd, okay? Give me a moment, okay? I'll be back. Don't go anywhere, okay? And share the links with your friends. Come on, man. I need your support. I need your help, okay? What? Oh, crap. Give me a second, okay? How do I get the link, by the way? How do I get the meeting link, Alpha, here? Oh, come on, man. Every seminar, something goes wrong, right? I need your help. Shania Kodituaku, right? Share the link with your friends. What are you doing, Shania? What are you doing, Zahir? Rishma, I need your help. Miska, I need all of you guys to share the links with your friends. Give me 1 second. I want to get the link also before we move forward. Right. It's going to take some time, okay? So don't worry, you're in good hands, okay? Now, you might remember I began the meeting saying that I am one of the most hated teachers in Sri Lanka who teaches subject number 73. Pupils don't hate me. I hope pupils love me. Like, don't you love me, right? Zahir, you love Javed, sir, right? Like, no homo, but you love me, right? Zahir, isn't that right, Alpha? You love Javed, sir, like a nana, like an uncle, you love Javed, sir. Pupils, they love me, but then who hate me the most is other teachers. If you've seen other teachers in this subject, okay? If you've seen other teachers in subject number 73, they are qualified, not throwing shade on anyone. But these teachers in subject number 73, the teachers in the art stream, the first thing is they're old, really old, okay? I'm beginning the seminar saying controversial things like Andrew Tate, okay? Like Andrew Tate, I'm saying controversial things in the beginning of the seminar itself. Share the links with your friends, Nangis and Mallis. Yes, So give me one moment, by the way, 1 second. I'm wearing a short, so I can't show you me getting up. It's gonna be problematic. So let me quickly take that light off, okay? The other teachers teaching the subject are old people. You guys don't like old people, right? Come on. Not only that, but the other teachers are struggling with English. Like, Alamai, welcome to my class today. I am going to teach you English. It is very good to learning. That's how they teach, man. I mean, go use YouTube, go on YouTube, Google the subject, Nangi. Everyone you're going to see is either old or either they can't speak in English. I am a unicorn of a teacher, okay? You can call me the what? You can call me the unicorn, right? Okay, Zahira, right? So however, remember this. In all seriousness, I want to give you the best version of the subject. This is a valuable subject. The reason is because you can get a higher Z score for your A-levels, dude. Why do you need a higher Z score? Because you want to go to campus, the campus the baba. If you want to go to university, you need a higher Z score. And if you need a higher Z score, you need this subject. It doesn't matter what batch you are from, 24, 23. It doesn't matter if you are hoping to choose the art stream and then learn English as a first language. It's called subject number 73, English, language and literature. Saying that this is not general English. It's not for single medium, okay? If you are from single medium, if you're learning general English, if you are O-levels, this is not the class for you. This is purely for the A-levels, art stream pupils. I am tired of math stream pupils, aren't you? I am tired of bio pupils, aren't you guys? They think that they are better than the art stream pupils, but are the maths pupils, are the bio pupils better than the arts pupils? Absolutely not. We are better. The reason is we are the leaders of the future, baby. We know how the world runs. We run the world in the future. We're going to prove them wrong today, okay? Today, we're going to focus on one lesson, one of the 24 poems in your syllabus. How many poems do you have in your syllabus? You have 24 poems. Lazy lazy tama. I don't know why pupils don't get A's for your A-level English language and literature. The reason is you guys have shit teachers. That's the true reason, okay? Shit teachers. Teachers who don't care about your future. I care about your future. Ara Sinhalin kiyanne kekkumak tiyenawa baba mata. E kekkuma hinda thama I'm doing this free seminar with you guys. And I want to see all of you excel. We are learning Spring and Fall to a Young Child, baby, by Gerard, Manley, Hopkins, baby. You guys know Gerard, Manley, Hopkins. He was here yesterday. The guy who wrote Spring and Fall to a Young Child was here yesterday. Can you believe that? And what's going on, Shahil? Glad you're here. By the way, A-level syllabus seminar this is. And it's not a very famous subject, have to be honest, okay? Because it's not very popular amongst the pupils, because the main reason is the teachers are not that good. But I want to change that. I am one man who is going to change the subject forever in Sri Lanka. If you are, and again on YouTube, you know there are some old ladies on YouTube. Unta pain make karanne, okay? If you Google English A-level, GCE, on YouTube, if you look for English A-level GCE on YouTube, you're going to see some old ladies. I hate those old ladies. I want them to see this. That's why this is going live on YouTube also. I know I'm not the nicest guy, but I promise you, I will get you your A Nangi. I will get you your sweet, sweet A Nangi for the exam. We are going to talk about Spring and Fall to a Young Child. Thank you, Alpha, by the way. You guys might not know, it's Javid's birthday today. So if you guys didn't know my name is Javid. You don't need my name, neither. Just remember the best literature teacher in Sri Lanka. That's good enough. But yes, even on my birthday, I'm here to help you guys achieve your sweet, sweet A. Why do you need the subject? You get higher Z-score. What can you do if you get a higher Z-score? You can go to university and become a valuable individual, get a law degree, and make all of the arts, make all of the commerce pupils and the maths pupils and the bio pupils work for you. When you're a CEO of the company, when you are an entrepreneur, when you own the goddamn company, make the bio pupils and the arts pupils and the commerce pupils work for you, baby. Arts, apologies. Bio, maths, and commerce. Okay, so we're going to move forward. I love arts pupils, basically. You guys are the future leaders. And him, thanks a lot, Shania. Thanks a lot, okay. She says, happy birthday, Javid. Thanks a lot. Okay, we're going to jump right in. We are enough chit-chat, okay? Enough talking about other people. We are going to focus on your future. And we are going to talk about Spring and Fall to a Young Child by Gerard, Manley, Hopkins. Not only am I fluent in the language, I am very fluent in the subject. We have a beautiful presentation for you guys. How can you get these presentations? I'll explain after we talk about the subject, okay? After we talk about the lesson, I'm going to explain. If you can stick around until the end, I'm going to tell you how you can get these presentations. And I'm also going to tell you how you can excel in the subject, how you can get the best version of the subject from the best of the best. In your syllabus, there are 24 poems. How many of those 24 poems should you be learning? You've got to be learning all 24 of them, okay? All 24 of them. And is it difficult to learn poems? No, but pupils forget the poems, right? When you learn a poem, if teacher talks the poem, right? When teacher talks the poem in the class and explains something about the hard words and stuff, you might understand. Okay, teacher, teruna teacher, lamai, do you understand? And you'll be like, yeah, oh, madam, I can understand, madam. Okay, puta, then from next week onwards, we are going to do a new lesson, puta. And then you are like, okay, madam, let's do a new lesson. But then in the future, you forget what you learned. And I hate that. You must never forget what you learned. You must never forget any of these poems. And I have a counter for that. I have a method. It's not a secret method, but teachers don't like this method, okay? Teachers do not like this method. And that is memorizing. Giravadan katapadan karanna. If a teacher tells you, ane buru katapadan karan depa, it's not important. Ask her to go to hell. I'm kidding. If a teacher doesn't want you to memorize, that teacher is afraid of you. That teacher is afraid that you will know the subject more than her. And when I say her, many teachers who teach the subject are old ladies. I'm kidding, by the way, okay? Don't take any of my jokes seriously. What is going on here? Arunya, glad you're here. Thanks for the wishes, okay? Like I said, not a very famous subject, but I will make the subject famous, Baba. Javed says going to make the subject famous. There are 24 poems, and your goal, Nangis and Mallis, must to memorize all 4 of these 24 poems. Meva dila tinava G, mona G eke the G, anthology eke, right? There is a anthology, a collection of poems that you guys are given from the government. Again, arts pupils are given textbooks from the governments. Can you believe that? Maths pupils and bio pupils don't get textbooks. Arts pupils get textbooks from the government, right? Isn't that amazing, right? Why? What's the reason? The government loves you. That's the reason, more than maths and bio pupils. However, when you talk about spring and fall to a young child, okay, if you want to learn the poem thoroughly, you have to memorize the poem, okay? That's the secret that teachers don't want you to do. When you memorize the poem, you become a master of the poem. Can you believe that? You become a master because the teacher will be blind. In the classroom, she needs the textbook. She needs, Puta, go to page number 28. Okay, start reading. Fatima, get up and read, Fatima. No. You've got the poem in your brain, Baba. You are working harder than the maths pupils. You are working harder than the bio pupils. You guys, one day, will be more successful than them. And put your hands up if you are going to memorize the poem with Javed. I promise it's easy, okay? It's like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. It's like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. It's like Jack and Jill went up the hill. And evage poem mekak tama make. Why is it so easy? Because your guy, Javed sir, is in the cockpit. Your captain is here to make you learn the poem and memorize the poem easily. Without further ado, this is all you need to learn about Gerard Manley Hopkins. He is a Victorian poet. What exactly do you mean by a Victorian poet? He existed during the reign of Queen Victoria. Can you believe that? He existed during the reign of Queen Victoria, and that is why he is a Victorian poet. There are various poets in our syllabus. Blake is a romantic poet. You might know the poet behind Song, Go and Catch a Falling Star. Who was that? It was John. John Donne. Don't worry about these poems, okay? Okkoma poems kiyak tiyanawada syllabus ekේ. There are 24 poems, baby. Out of these 24 poems, Spring and Fall to a Young Child is one of them. Can you believe that? Is one of them. So out of these 24 poems, we are learning one. That means we are going one step towards a sweet A, right? You guys want A's in the exam, neither. You guys want a higher Z score, right? Ehnang padang karanna Javed sir tekka. I hope I'm not lagging, by the way. Zahir, am I lagging? No, right? I hope I'm not, though. Javed sir doesn't lag, right, Zahir? Am I? I hope not. Because I'm not exactly. The reason is, Manfa, Javed has very fast internet. I've got insanely fast internet. Even the government doesn't have my internet, okay, so I can't lag. I'm kidding. I have very fast. I have a very fast Wi-Fi connection. Come on, like 100 M, like I think 200 gigabytes per second. 200 megabytes per second. Apologies. That's this video, okay? He's a Victorian era poet, and then there is a signature technique that he uses in this poem. It's called, now tell me, you guys know what spring is, right? So spring is a season, but spring has another meaning, right? Spring, the noun, is a season. What are the nouns? Spring, winter, autumn. There's one more thing, I think. Summer, right? Spring, summer, winter, autumn. You guys know the seasons, right? However, the word spring has another meaning. Can you believe that? The word spring can also be a verb, right? Spring can be a verb. And what is the past tense of spring? Spring, sprung, right? Sprung. Remember in the poem, Spring and Fall to a Young Child. What do you mean by spring? Spring is a season. What do you mean by fall? She fell down. Ayo. She fell down in the bathroom. No, hit her head on the comet. No, fall is also a season. Fall is called autumn. What is that? Autumn, right? Autumn indeed. Genius you are. Rima. Kamil, what's going on? I remember you, Rima. I'm glad you're here, okay? As I was saying, though, when you talk about Gerard Manley Hopkins, one more time, remember the spelling of his name, okay? Gerard Manley Hopkins, a very phonetic sounding name. He is a Victorian poet who wrote Spring and Fall to a Young Child. And this poem has a signature technique, okay? There is an important technique. And that technique is called sprung rhythm. Now, how are we going to memorize all of these things, Javed, sir? There are shortcuts. Podi shortcuts you guys can use to learn about the background of the poem and what is the technique, the pioneering technique. What do you call by pioneer? Pioneer, what do you mean by that? Do you guys know the meaning? It means the person who started something, the person who created something. He's like the founding father. If you talk about online education, who is the pioneer? Javed sir, right? Your Javed sir is the pioneer of online education. Way back when schools were closed, I started teaching online. I am still teaching online. And as you guys can see, I have worked on increasing the quality of online education. Look at my mic. Look at my light. Look at my presentation. These are all for you, Nangi. These are all for you, my Nangis and Mallis. I hope you will appreciate this crusade of your Javed, sir. This is a crusade, baby. Gonna move forward then. So one more time, Spring and Fall by Gerard Manley Hopkins has a very important technique. Nangi, mata kiyanna, what's that important technique? It is spring neme, past tense of spring is sprung rhythm. Can you believe that? What exactly is sprung rhythm though? Now, if you were to go into the poem, all right, so by the way, Spring and Fall to a Young Child is wildly popular as Spring and Fall. Sometimes in school, they might call this Spring and Fall. Oh, no, this is Spring and Fall to a Young Child, baby. The narrator addresses a child named Margaret. You got to remember this name, okay? Margaret. Who is the narrator? The narrator is the speaker in the poem is Gerard Manley Hopkins. I'll call him GMH. Is Gerard Manley Hopkins and the narrator the same person or are they different people? Hopkins is the poet. Why is the narrator different? Because again, the poet creates the narrator. Now, for example, imagine that you, Fatima, all right, you write a poem called Doggy Doggy. And in that poem, the narrator is a doggy. The narrator is a doggy. So in that poem, when Fatima writes a poem called Doggy Doggy, okay? A Doggy Doggy by Fatima. One moment. An imaginary poem, obviously. Doggy Doggy by Fatima, okay? The first doggy is a noun, second doggy is a verb, okay? Is that, what did you expect? Remember this. Doggy Doggy by Fatima has a narrator, and the narrator is a dog. Now tell me, Nangi, is Fatima a dog? No. Fatima is the poet. Guti khanna venne harida, okay? And by the way, I'm Muslim, so I can make Muslim jokes, right? No issue at all. I love all the Fatimas, okay? Even if you are not a Fatima, I still love you. Even if you bring your Archie to my class, I still love your Archie also, okay? So tell me, in this example, in this case study of Doggy Doggy by Fatima, the narrator is a doggy, but is Fatima a doggy? No. Fatima is the poetess or poet, or we can call her poetess. Can you believe that? So here we are talking about Gerard Manley Hopkins. He's a what poet? He's a Victorian poet. He has a special rhythm. What's it called? It's called spring neme. Past tense of spring is sprung rhythm. Put your hands up if you remember Gerard Manley Hopkins, Spring and Fall to a Young Child. Victorian poet. The main technique is sprung rhythm. Can you believe that? Isn't that easy? That's it. So we are memorizing during the class itself. We don't care about what teachers say. It's not about understanding the theory, history, background. No. Girava damma, You go to the exam, you write, and you get an A and a higher Z score. That's the main goal of our class, baby. So hope you understand. In this poem, is the narrator Gerard Manley Hopkins? Oh, no, no, no. Gerard Manley Hopkins is a poet. The narrator is unknown, okay? We don't know who the narrator is. Can you believe that? If someone tells you that the poet and the narrator are the same person, do not then madam, is Fatima a dog? Do you understand that? No, no. Fatima is an angel. This is wrong because a narrator and the poet are two different people. Fatima wrote a poem called Doggy Doggy. And in that poem, the narrator is a doggy doing doggy. The narrator is a doggy, right? But then Fatima is the poetess. She is not the narrator. Fatima is not a dog, right? Hope you understand that. Manuri, thanks a lot, Nangi. She wishes me a happy birthday. Join our classes, Manuri, okay? We are doing an amazing job learning literature, baby. We are the best online and even physical, okay? We are the best English class in Sri Lanka for the A-levels arts pupils. Again, remember, this is not general English. This is English for the A-levels. Subject number 73. Can you believe that? Fatima's situation. That's very funny. Okay. Zahir, all right. So I hope you understand Gerard Manley Hopkins, who wrote Spring and Fall to a Young Child. Apart from that, he is a Victorian poet. What is his technique? What is his hot technique? Spring neme, sprung rhythm. What is the poem though? Sprung neme, spring and fall to a young child. Isn't that easy? Now that we know about the background of the poem, we shall be learning about the organization of the poem. Why should you learn about the organization of the poem? Only then will it be easy for you to memorize the poem. Only then will it be easy for you to stow it inside your brain. So, right, what are we doing now? We are talking about spring. And excuse my handwriting, it's not that, it's not that good looking, but we don't care about it. We are here for the tutorials, aren't we? By Gerard Manley Hopkins, right? That's easy. Hopkins, isn't that easy? Let me double check that also, okay? I don't want to make any mistakes here. Gerard Manley Hopkins. Genius, your Javed sir is. So remember, when we talk about Spring and Fall to a Young Child, you guys might remember Victorian poet Gerard Manley Hopkins is. You might remember, and this is only half of the title. It is Spring and Fall to a Young Child. Remember this, Nangi? The poem has 15 lines. What's that? 15 lines. Now tell me, are lines grammatical or visual? Lines are visual, okay, not grammatical. Sentences are grammatical. Lines are visual. If you can repeat this with your Javedaya, can you do that? I'm sure Manuri, Zahir, Rima. There was another pupil also. I forgot her name. I know she's Kodituaku or something. Yeah, Kodituaku indeed. Flag gun. Shania, flag gun. Repeat with Javed Sanangi. Nabila, thanks a lot for the wishes, by the way. It's a 15-line poem. And this poem, remember, it is it has a kind of a rhyming scheme and a special technique. What's the technique called? It's not called spring. It's called sprung rhythm. Sprung rhythm, right? Sprung rhythm are THM, here we are. Sprung rhythm indeed is the main technique you find in the poem, Spring and Fall to a Young Child. Okay, 15-line poem this is. It has and how do you find the lines, by the way? Remember, sentences are grammatical, lines are visual. One more time. Sentences are grammatical, lines are visual. So in order to show you the 15 lines, is it okay if I did not write down a single word and draw 15 lines like this? Is it okay? Absolutely. One more time. Spring and Fall to a Young Child by Gerard Manley Hopkins. One moment. Right, and then 1, 2, 3, and then one more time, 3, and then 1, 2 again. All right, 1, 2 again. And don't worry, okay, we are going to begin the presentation very soon. We have a hot presentation for you guys waiting to be consumed by you guys. Javed sir's presentations are hot, waiting to be consumed by you, Nangis and Mallis. One moment, here we are, 2 more lines and then 2 more lines. How many lines can you see on your screen? Ganang karamu da baba, epasa, ganang karamu mage deyo. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 lines. Do you understand? Lines. I had a stroke trying to memorize Go and Catch a Falling Star, says Zahir. Don't worry, man. I promise I'll make it all work for you. Okay, Zahir. Here's the deal, though. 15 lines. Even before I started writing a single word, I have not even written a single word. You guys can count the number of lines in the poem because lines are visual, sentences are grammatical. One more time. Lines are visual, sentences are grammatical. So we care about lines in literature, okay? Now, this poem has an organization. It has 15 lines and it has a formal rhyming scheme. You guys might have seen the rhymes in many poems. For example, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, how I wonder what you are up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Baba mata kiyanna balanna, how many lines do you have in Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star? You have 4 lines, right? Geniuses you guys are. Not only that, if you gave a rhyming scheme to Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, you have star and are. Are these rhyming words? What do you guys think? Absolutely, they are. Absolutely, they are rhyming words. That's why we are going to give them the same akura. Same Ingerisi, ODA akura is going to be A. High and sky do not rhyme with R and star, but they rhyme with each other. Genius you are, Fatima, Nangi, Dua, Baba, Tangachi. Here we are, double A, double B rhyming scheme. So that's how you find the rhyming scheme, okay? Nangi, if you want to find the rhyming scheme of a poem, you look at the monocalendar. One kal Tongala ikra tunda pakonu. I mean the word, right? Tongala ikira, what do you call word in Tamil? I forgot. Elithu pakonu, I think, whatever. Look at the kone kal, okay? Sinhala puluwan Javed sir. Kone tiyena vachane diha balandone. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. How I wonder what you are up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. And now we are not talking about Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. We are talking about not Doggy, Doggy by Fatima. No. We are talking about Spring and Fall to a Young Child by Gerard. Manley Hopkins is a Victorian poet. His pioneering technique is a pioneer, right? That means, what do you mean by pioneer? It means, the founder of something, like Javed sir is the pioneer of online education, right? Like that. Like your Javed sir is the pioneer of online education. Gerard Manley Hopkins is the pioneer of what rhythm? Spring neme, sprung rhythm. Salma says sol, sir. All right. Sol means a word. Thanks a lot, Salma. Okay. And the kanne party. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Tangachi. Here's the deal. Okay. The 15-line poem has a rhyming scheme, but the rhyming scheme is kind of complicated. The poem is not a sonnet. Not a sonnet. What are sonnets? We'll talk about sonnets in the future. Okay. The poem is not a sonnet. What is the reason? It has 15 lines. A poem with 14 lines is a sonnet. But then this is a 15-line poem. Ekak madida, ekak vadida, ekak vadine. So if ekak vadinam, it's not a sonnet. A sonnet must have 14 lines. This poem has 15 lines. So let me talk about the rhyming scheme. It has 3 rhyming couplets. I'll talk about the poem in a bit. Remember this, okay? Now, these are 2 lines that rhyme with each other. Matakada Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Anna e wage, double A, double B, double C. And then D. And you can't forget, I parak, D walta passe mokad denne. We have not even started reading the poem, okay? Kone kala diha balala, of every line, you can give it a rhyming scheme. Margaret, are you grieving over Golden Grove unleaving? Leaves like the things of man, you with your fresh thoughts care for, can you? Don't worry about it. I told you in the beginning of the meeting, you have to memorize the poem. I will make you memorize the poem, not you. Bring your Archie to my class and I will teach her how the poems and how to bring your teachers also to our classes and we'll teach your teachers also. Isn't that amazing? Okay. I really hope that that some teachers see my teaching and are inspired to teach English. Subject number 73, language and literature with conviction, baby. What is the letter after D? D. It is double E, double F, and then double son of a gun, double G, double C, double G, okay? Perfect. How did I get these rhyming words? I got them by looking at the Kone Kal, Baba. So I'll talk about the Kone Kal in a bit. Mara Vedagat ne the Kone Kal in Sri Lanka, we care about the Kone Kal a lot. For example, you buy a pizza. What is the most tasty kal? Meda kal, the Kone kal, the man kamati baba pizza ke Kone kal kan. Put your hands up if you like the Kone kal kan. Everybody, right? Absolutely. Everyone likes the Kone kal in the pizza. Not only that, imagine that you have a cake, right? Kauruat cake ke meda kal kan kamati ne. It's ugly. Kathai ne de meda kal kanawana. So abi kamati Kone kal to madam to gila kianna. Once you go to school, tell your madam, abi kamati madam, arts lamai washing mona kal kanna de Kone kal kanna. Right. Konnichiwa. All right. Speaking of Kone Kali, we found the rhyming scheme looking at the Kone Kali of every line. How many lines do you have in this poem? Tell me. You got 15 lines. Who wrote this poem? Gerard Manley Hopkins. He is the poet who wrote the poem. And Hopkins has a pioneering technique. What do you mean by pioneer? Near, it means he's the founder. He has a pioneering technique. Spring neme, sprung rhythm, right? Spring neme, sprung rhythm. Too easy, nede. Okay. Oh, I hope I'm not lagging, by the way, okay? Because my camera is kind of not very clear to me, though. I'm not lagging. Thanks a lot, Zahir. Here's a kiss. All right. Asma, what's going on, Asma? Where have you been? We are here in an A-level seminar, by the way. We're going to move forward then. We're talking about sprung rhythm, baby. And you guys should know that this is a 15-line poem. Matakata Baba, we talked about lines and sentences. Sentences are grammatical. Lines are visual. That's the main thing you have to understand as a arts pupil. What's the main technique that Gerard Manley Hopkins pioneers in? Spring rhythm, neme, sprung rhythm. And by the way, this is a poem out of the 24 poems in your syllabus. And this poem is called Spring and Fall to a Young Child. You can't forget this name right here, Margaret. Margaret is a beautiful name, right? It's such a innocent sounding name, Margaret. We have, my favorite noodles is Maggie noodles. And Margaret reminds me of Maggie. Absolutely, there is nowhere else where we have heard of the word Margaret, not in the vendor of sweets, and the vendor of sweets is an O-level syllabus novel, so don't care about it. By the way, how many novels do you have in the A-level syllabus? You have 5 novels, neither. You've got 5 novels in the A-level syllabus. What is the easiest novel in the A-level syllabus? Nectar in a Sieve. Nectar in a Sieve is the easiest novel in the A-level syllabus. So tell Javed, sir, look at the Kone Kali. Nangi balanna Kone Kali diha wa dannawane the Javed sir kamati Kone Kali walata. Look at the Kone Kali of every sentence and tell me, Nangi, what is the rhyming scheme here? One moment. Grieving rhymes with unleaving. Double A, right? You rhymes with you. Can you believe that? Here is a discovery. You rhymes with you. That is also that rhyme is called as BB. Here is older, that rhymes with colder. That is given the letter CC. Sai rhymes with lie, rhymes with Y. That is given D. And then we have name rhymes with same, that is given double E. Expressed rhymes with guest, that is given double F. For rhymes with for, that is given double G. Isn't that easy? Make neda baba, mang ogolanta pennuwe nane kone kali nemei. I told you the rhyming scheme of Spring and Fall to a Young Child by Gerard, Manley, Hopkins is double A, double B, double C, D, double E, double F, double G. Kia in the band, the double A, double B, double C, double D. So we shall call these doubles as couplets, okay? These doubles are called couplets. Couple, right? Couplets. Do you understand that? Couple, like a right? Couplets, cups. All right. Now a double here is called a couplet. Meva nikang couplets there. Natang meva rhyming couplets there. Are these verum couplets? Verum cutlets? Verum cups? Or are they rhyming couplets? What do you guys think? What do you think? Kodituaku, my friend, right? Shania. Flag gun, Shania, right? Manfa genius you are, Hafsa genius you are. These are rhyming couplets. Why are they rhyming couplets? Someone might ask you. Why are these rhyming couplets? Because they rhyme, right? Because they have Arkone Kali, rhymes with each other, right? Double A, right? The reason I call this double A was because grieving rhymes with unleaving. Can you believe that? Too easy, okay? So if you think about it, how many rhyming couplets can you see here? 1 rhyming couplet, 2 rhyming couplets, 3 rhyming couplets. Mea rhyming couplet ekak there. What do you think? No, the reason is there are 3 rhyming words, right? So you call this a rhyming tercet. Triplet is not correct. Tercet, all right? It's called a tercet. Triplet we don't use in our syllabus. Not exactly, not very famous. Tercet. So one more time, we have 3 rhyming couplets, 1 rhyming tercet, 3 more rhyming couplets. What are we talking about? We are talking about the organization of the poem. What is the poem that we are talking about? We are talking about Spring and Fall to a Young Child by Gerard, Manley, Hopkins, baby. And the poet is a Victorian poet. And you guys got to know that this poet is a pioneer of what? Spring rhythm, neme. Sprung rhythm. Not only that, now we're going to talk about the organization of the poem again, okay? Organization. Why are we talking about the organization of the poem? The reason is, if you know the organization of the poem, it's very easy for you to understand, memorize, take your content to the exam and get your sweet, sweet A's, baby. When we talk about the organization of Spring and Fall to a Young Child, you guys got to know that there are how many rhyming couplets here? Double A, double B, double C. 3 rhyming couplets. 3 rhyming couplets, followed by 1 rhyming tercet. Don't write these down, okay? These are all in the tutorial, by the way. 1 rhyming tercet. And finally, there are 3 more rhyming couplets. Isn't that easy? There are more poems in your A-level syllabus with rhyming couplets. Now, for example, you guys might remember The Chimney Sweeper by William Blake, right? That had rhyming couplets. There were 6 stanzas and 2 rhyming couplets per stanza. There were 12 rhyming couplets, right? And absolutely, Zahir, you get all of these tutorials, okay? If you guys can stick around until the end, you get a good understanding regarding the poem, and you will learn how to get all of these sweet, sweet, exclusive, brilliant, beautiful tutorials to help you with your education for free, by the way. Kind of like the seminar, the tutorials are also free. Here we are then. When we talk about Spring and Fall to a Young Child, there are 3 rhyming couplets, followed by 1 rhyming tercet, followed by 3 more rhyming couplets. How many lines do you have in 1 couplet? Kiyan baba satapatagala. You have 2 lines per couplet, neither. So in that case, 3 into 2 plus 3 into 1, neither. 1 into 3, right? If you think about it, if you think about how these lines work, you have 3 into 2, that means 6. You have 1 into 3, that means 3. And then you have 3 into 2 again, that means 6. If you add all of these up, how many lines do you get, baby? You get 15 lines. There are 15 lines in Spring and Fall to a Young Child by Gerard, Manley, Hopkins. Isn't that easy? You got to take this with you to the exam. It might seem very easy. Now, I guarantee when you start learning all 24 poems, it is going to be really complicated. So have this stored in your brain in an organized way. Now imagine this. Imagine you have a suitcase, okay? What do you put inside your suitcase? Your dead girlfriend? No, no. Your dead husband? No, no. Inside your suitcase, you have your belongings packed inside your suitcase, don't you? So when you got a suitcase and when you put your belongings inside in a messy, messy way, would you be able to fit a lot of belongings, items inside the suitcase? Absolutely not. But then when you organize the belongings, right? Let's say you take these belongings away, right? You're like, no, I don't want to keep doing this. I want to organize my belongings, right? You take these belongings out and then you organize them and you put them inside your suitcase. You can fit more belongings inside the suitcase. That is why we learn the organization of the poem. When you just read the poem is messy. Amataka wenna puluwang neda. But when you organize the poem thoroughly, you guys are going to be able to fit a lot more knowledge, a lot more criteria in one suitcase. Hope that makes sense. In your mind, hope that makes sense. That is why we are talking about the organization of the poem. And thanks a lot, Asma. This is not a very famous subject, but I'm here to make the subject famous, baby. I am going to take you guys away from old lady teaching and give you all of the shortcuts you need regarding A-level English, language and literature, subject number 73. I know the meaning behind the poem might feel a bit difficult. It might feel a bit uncomfortable for you to learn the meaning behind the poem, and that's completely fine. That's why you've got Javed sir here. But before we talk about the meaning behind the poem, can you tell me, Nangi, what exactly is the organization of Spring and Fall to a Young Child by Gerard Manley Hopkins, Victorian poet, the pioneer of what? A rhythm. Spring neme, sprung rhythm. And then this is a 15-line poem with 3 rhyming couplets, 1 rhyming tercet, 3 more rhyming couplets. How did we find the rhyming scheme of the poem? We looked at the mona kal the. We looked at the kone kal indeed. When you talk about the poem, remember that this is a poem that is directed towards a character called Margaret. You can see her name right here, Nether. You can see Margaret's name right here. This narration, who is the narrator? Is the narrator Manley Hopkins? Oh, no, he's the poet. Who is the narrator? We don't know who the narrator is, baby. We have no idea who the narrator is. We don't care. But the unknown narrator is talking to a person called Margaret, a child called Margaret. How do I know that the narrator is talking to a child? Look at the title of the poem. It's called Spring and Fall to a Young Child, isn't it? Isn't it, baby? In it, Spring and Fall to a Young Child. And who is the young child? The young child is Margaret indeed. Too easy, baby. Insanely simple. When we talk about the narration, the narrator is directing this narration towards the character called Margaret. Who is Margaret? Margaret is a child. Tell me the rhyming scheme of the poem. A, B, B, C, C, D, 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 and then E, E, F, F, finally G, G. That is the rhyming scheme of the poem. So one more time, it has 3 rhyming couplets, 1 rhyming tercet, 3 more rhyming couplets. If you memorize the rhyming scheme of the poem, put your hands up, baby. If you memorize the rhyming scheme of the poem, my God, geniuses you guys are, okay? Javid Daya loves you. Work very hard. Work harder than those maths pupils. Work harder than those bio pupils. Show them that you've got what it takes to be the best, regardless of what stream you chose in your A levels. If you are here, you are a arts pupil and you are learning spring and fall to a young child. Out of how many poems do you have this in your syllabus? Out of 24 poems, 15-line poem. And then I talked about a special technique, right? Now you might ask me, Javed, so what's this podi podi kali on top of the poem, on top of these words? Why is there a podi podi kalak over A? Why is there a podi podi kalak over E? Why is there a podi podi kalak over A? And here, what's the reason? Nangi, I told you that Manley Hopkins, Gerard Manley Hopkins was a pioneer of what? Spring neme, sprang rhythm. Can you believe that? Right. Here we are. So Hopkins is a pioneer of sprung rhythm. How has he used sprung rhythm? He uses it by manipulating the sounds of his words. Can you see like an A with a podikalak on top? That is pronounced rhythmically. Is the rhythm important? No. Katapadang karaganna. Why do you have me wage kali bali on the poem? The reason is the poem has something called sprung rhythm. Who is the pioneer of sprung rhythm? It is Gerard Manley Hopkins. Can you believe that? Isn't that easy? So that's why we have not yet begun the reading session of the poem, but by now, you should know these things. You must know that Spring and Fall to a Young Child is a poem by Gerard Manley Hopkins. He is a Victorian poet. He is the pioneer of spring neme, sprung rhythm. The poem has 15 lines. There are 3 rhyming couplets, 1 rhyming tercet, 3 more rhyming couplets. Altogether, there are how many lines in the poem? There are 15 lines in this poem. The poem is not a sonnet because it has more than 14 lines. 1 kalak extra neda. Put your hands up if you memorized all of that. If you have memorized the background of the poem, if you have memorized the rhyming scheme, if you know the special pioneering technique of Gerard Manley Hopkins, baby, proud of you guys I am. Now we can jump right in. So when you talk about the poem is directed towards a child. What is the name of the child? The child's name is Margaret. We are not yet reading. Again, remember, Nangi, reading the poem is not the most important thing. Understanding the poem and taking the understanding of the poem to the exam is our goal. Taking the understanding of the poem to the exam is going to be your shortcut towards an A, baby. So here's the deal. When we talk about the narrator, do you know who the narrator is? Oh, no, we don't. We don't know who the narrator is. The narrator is unknown. Is Hopkins the narrator? No. Hopkins, Manley Hopkins, is the poet. When we talk about the poem, though, the narrator is talking to a girl called Margaret. Margaret is a child, okay? Have you found the word child anywhere else in the poem? Absolutely. In the title is Spring and Fall to a Young Child, right? So here we are. When we talk about the narration, the narrator is talking to a character called Margaret. All right. And Margaret is a child. Margaret is crying, is weeping, grieving, is crying. One moment. She is grieving. You guys, when we start reading the poem, you're going to understand this, okay? Margaret, are you grieving over Golden Grove unleaving? She is crying because the leaves are falling off of the trees. When will the leaves fall off of the trees? When there's a nuclear blast. When Shaitan climbs trees and plucks the trees. Leaves, no. What is the season where leaves fall off of trees? It's called the fall season, right? Or you can call it, genius you are, Salma Rima, it's called autumn, right? Tum-tum. Autumn indeed, okay? So why is she crying? She's crying because of autumn. She is crying because the leaves are falling off the trees. The narrator uses a thing called neologism. Neologism. What do you mean by neologism? A kind of psychology? Oh, no, no, no. Neologism means invented words, okay? Invented words. That's called neologism. Can you believe that? One more time, okay? The narrator is talking to a child called Margaret. Margaret is grieving. She is weeping, right? Why is she crying though? She's crying because the leaves of the trees are falling off. How do you know the leaves of the trees are falling off? It's given in the title. Spring and fall to a young child. The child did not fall. What's the name of the child? The child's name is Margaret. And then why is she crying? She is crying because leaves are falling off of trees during the season of autumn, during the season of fall. Now, there are invented words, okay? The invented words are wormwood. Are these real words? If you look inside your dictionary, will you be able to find these words? Na, boru, meva, poi, vachana. What are these? These are poi, vachana, wormwood. And then we have Genius Yuva Salma, leaf meal, okay? Wormwood and leaf meal are the words, are these neologisms you find in Spring and Fall to a Young Child, okay? 15-line poem. 3 rhyming couplets, 1 rhyming tessette, 3 more rhyming couplets. And there's one more word, Genius Yuva Manfa. It is unleaving. What do you mean by unleaving? L-E-A-V-I-N-G. Leaves are super glued to the tree, or leaves are falling down. Leaves are falling down. Margaret is the name of the girl. The narrator is talking to Margaret. Why is he talking to Margaret? Because Margaret is grieving. Margaret is crying, right? Margaret andanava ane. Why is Margaret andane? She is andane because Marathula ikira illegal buludutane gahe tiyena kola vatenava. What's the reason? It's called fall. It's called autumn. Due to the season of autumn, these trees are losing their leaves. What do you mean by wormwood? Wormwood means a wood is becoming pale, okay? Wood becoming pale. Now, when someone becomes pale, are they healthy or are they sick? They are sick, right? So tell me, during autumn, the trees become sick, don't they? So wormwood means wood. You guys know what wood is, right? You might have seen some good wood, haven't you? Wormwood means the wood is sick. The wood is paling. It's not dark wood. It's paling. It's becoming light in color. Leaf meal means the leaves are breaking into pieces. The leaves are decomposing, right? The leaves are breaking into pieces. Leaf meal. Hope you understand that. Are these real words? What were the invented words that we were talking about? Kianna Satapata Gala, Fatima and Shamla and Salma and Zahir and Muhammad, right? Yeah, everyone, right? In the meeting. It is, genius as you guys are, wormwood, leaf meal, unleaving. These are all invented words. Can you believe that? In the end, you guys can screenshot this. If you screenshot it, it means you have the entire poem inside your pocket, okay? So, however, Margaret's mouth does not know. What is Margaret doing now? She's dancing, right? She's like, hey, during when the leaves are falling on her, she's like dancing. Is that what's going on? No. Margaret is grieving. Margaret is crying. Tell me, when you learn literature, you are not an artist. You are a lawyer. You are thinking, acting, and behaving like a lawyer. You must have evidence for whatever you say. The evidence is given in the poem. Margaret is crying. Why is Margaret crying? Because the leaves in the trees are falling down. But does Margaret's mouth know why she's crying? No. Does Margaret's mind know why she is crying? No. What knows that Margaret is crying? Her ghost. Now, what do you mean by ghost? It means pay, yaka. No. there is another meaning for the word ghost. Can you believe that? It's so easy, Baba. The other meaning for the word ghost is someone's genius. You are Hafsa. Is a kiss from Javed, sir. Spirit, or then soul, right? Soul, spirit. Not sprite, okay? Spirit. Spirit or soul is another meaning for the word ghost. So Margaret is crying, all right? Margaret is crying. Why is Margaret crying? Because the leaves from the trees are falling off. Why are the leaves from the trees falling off? Because of the season called spring, right? Apologies. No. Fall, right? Fall. Autumn is the reason why these trees are unleaving. The wood is becoming worn wood. The leaf is becoming leaf meal. Nangi me kahapata kaka wage tira ten. Are these real words or are they fake words? Me kahapata kaka wage ten. What are they? They are fake words, right? They are invented words. They are called, what do you call invented words in English? Bye-bye. They are called neologisms. How many neologisms can you find in Spring and Fall to a Young Child? You find 3 neologisms: leaf meal, worn wood, and then unleaving. Margaret is crying. Does Margaret know why she is crying? She might, but does Margaret's mouth know why she's crying? No. Does Margaret's brain know why she's crying? No, they don't know. But then Margaret's ghost knows why she is crying. It is the blight. Blight man was born for. What do you mean by blight? Pain, suffering, right? It is the blight, the pain, the suffering. Why not Rima? The disease. You're right. Disease is another word. Well done. The blight, the pain, the suffering, the disease that man was born for. That is why Margaret is crying. Men me thiyenne mulu poem meka 15-line poem. Double A, double B, double C, D, 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 double E, double F, double G rhyming scheme. How many lines do you have in Spring and Fall to a Young Child, baby? You've got 15 lines in the poem. The poem has a formal rhyming scheme. 3 rhyming couplets, 1 rhyming tacet, 3 more rhyming couplets. If you guys don't know what rhyming couplets are, what rhyming tacets are, if you don't understand the rhyming scheme behind this poem, everybody understands. You guys are geniuses, men. You guys are amazing. You guys are better than your teachers. Don't you agree? If you were to go to school and tell this to your teacher, I'm sure even your teacher would not know what you're talking about. You guys are better than teachers, baby. Dab with Javed, okay? Dab with Javed right now. Turn on your cameras and jab. You can't turn on your cameras. I have not given you permission. If you want to turn on your cameras or unmute your mics, you have to join Javed's classes. And I see a few pupils want to learn how to join Javed's classes. That's completely fine. I'll explain how that's done, by the way. But before that, can you guys screenshot tag gagan puluwan the men maker? Satapata gala screenshot tag gagan lamaine. Who is crying? Margaret is crying. Why is she crying? She's crying because leaves falling from trees because of the autumn fall season. Margaret's mouth doesn't know why she is crying. Margaret's mind does not know why she is crying. But Margaret's ghost know why she is crying. What do you mean by ghost? Yaka, holman, pei, pisasi. No. Ghost means soul. Ghost means spirit. In Sinhala, we call this arthritis. Athar. No, we call it Atmaya, right? Atmaya. Put your hands up if you guys understand Sinhalese, by the way. Any Sinhalese understanding people here? Nobody. That's crazy. Manuri, you don't understand. You do. That's amazing. All right. Very, very proud of you guys. Okay. That's amazing. That is awesome. Okay. So when we talk about the word Atmaya, hope you guys understand what we are. In fact, talking about in this poem, even though the mind and the mouth of Margaret can't understand why she is crying, her ghost, her soul understands why she is crying. What's the reason? The reason man was born for. What was the reason that man was born for, Baba? Man was born for blight. What do you mean by blight? Dukkha, disease, suffering, pain. And that is the reason why Margaret is crying. Screenshot sata pata chatagala. I'm very sure you guys will appreciate this note, especially before your exam. 15-line poem. AA, BB, CC, D, rhyming scheme, along with D, E, F, and then GG. 3 rhyming couplets, 1 rhyming tercet, 3 more rhyming couplets. Can you believe that? Now, here's the deal, okay? We are not yet done with the seminar. You know that I have been relentlessly speaking and teaching during the last hour. I've got so much energy, baby. The reason that I have so much energy is because I want to see you guys achieve your life. I want to see you guys go to a place that arts pupils and bio pupils and commerce pupils can never go to. This is, we are going to go for a small break, by the way, sponsored by Coca-Cola. If you haven't, if you don't know, we are sponsored a lot. Absolutely, you can get the recording. The recording is there in YouTube. We are live streaming this session as we speak. So yeah, sponsored by Coca-Cola, obviously. Thanks a lot, Nabila, for your wishes. Everybody should know it's my birthday today. But even then, no play for Javed. So no, working hard for your future is what I'm doing. Some of you guys want to know how to join Javed classes. If you want to join our classes, if you want to be a part of our Kamikaze family, if you want to be a part of the best English literature class in Sri Lanka for the A-levels, you guys have to go into isaac.com, okay? Once you go into isaac.com, you've got to click on join and you have to create an account. It will take you less than 5 minutes. And thanks a lot for your wishes, Salma. Thanks again, Fatima Rizla, for your wishes. Am I not the best English teacher that you have seen teaching subject number 73? I'm very sure, right? You guys know it in your mind that there is no one equal to your Javed sir. Who made me so good though? You guys did. Your participation, your hard work, and your strong words are what made me so strong. Nothing else. Not my friends, not my family, not my education. You guys are who made me the best. And I will try to become even better, baby. This is isaac.com, baby. You know how to spell Isaac. It's spelled phonetically. Isaac wage, A-Y-Z-A-C-K. Create an account, register, and then log in. I'm going to show you how to log in using my student account. So we have demo. The password is monkey. Okay, here we are. So when you log into isaac.com, you guys are going to see a notice board. And in this notice board, we have other upcoming seminars and stuff, very basic. But then the real magic is right here. If you go into the left console after logging into isaac.com, you have all classes and live classes. You can join our live classes by selecting your badge. Obviously, you're doing A-levels. And then by selecting your grade, you guys might be grade 12 or 13. I'm going to leave that unselected. And then you can select your subject. Tell me, is the subject English literature? Or is the subject English language and literature, subject number 73 for the A-levels? The subject is English language and literature. And you guys know the educator, Kauda, Javed sir ne dogolange. So now that you're in all classes, live classes, and now that you see all of the slots, the cards that you guys can purchase, you guys see that we have 4 different sessions per week. Okay, per week we have 4 different sessions. You have to pay per month. You pay per month, but you have weekly classes, 4 sessions per week, obviously. We have one session for the 2023 badge A-level pupils. We have another session for the 2024 badge A-level pupils. We have another class of papers, a paper class, and then we've got a novel class, a separate class for the novels. How many novels are in your syllabus? There are 5 novels. Out of these 5 novels, baby, what's the easiest novel that you guys can learn? Nectar in a Sieve is the easiest novel that you guys can learn. And thanks a lot, Rizla. Again, your well wishes and your strong words are what makes Javed so strong, Nangi. However, now once you've paid for the class, you guys might be curious to know what we have done thus far. Thus far, we have completed the first term of grade 12 and 13. Don't worry, we are starting revision really soon. So here's your opportunity to get an A for your English language and literature subject, art subject number 73. However, now once you have joined the classes, okay, you guys can access a calendar option here. Now, in the calendar option in isaac.com, we can keep track of all of the lessons that we have done in the past. Now, for example, last week in the Wednesday class, if you guys need to join, by the way, screenshot tag Gagan. Here's Javed says, WhatsApp. You guys can contact me whenever you guys want to. Here's my WhatsApp. Screenshot tag Gagan if you need the tutorials for free, if you want to join our classes, if you want to give us your feedback. Banin Oninang, because again, I was talking shit about other teachers, right? What did I say in the beginning of the seminar? I told you that all the teachers in this subject number 73, are old ladies who can't speak fluently in English. If you want to scold Javed sir, no Javed sir, you were wrong. I love my teacher Javed sir. Drop us a message through WhatsApp. If you wanna wish Javed sir a happy birthday, log into WhatsApp, message me before midnight today, because again, today's my birthday. Or if you want the free tutorials, drop me a WhatsApp message. If you want to join our classes, become a part of our Kamikaze family, if you want to become a part of this regular online revolutionary session, drop us a message through WhatsApp. And thanks a lot again, Nada, okay? You guys made me the best, basically. And absolutely, let's bring out the best, okay? You guys are going to be better than the maths pupils. You guys are going to be better than the commerce or biology pupils. I guarantee it. I will work harder than you guys. And I want to see you succeed. I want to give you the shortcuts and I want to see you succeed. So boom, here's the calendar option in isaac.com. And in the calendar option, you guys can get the tutorials of the lessons that we have conducted. Here we are. Now, for example, here is brilliant, Ned. Here is the tutorial for Animal Crackers by Richard de Zoiza. You can get this if you message me through WhatsApp. Not only that, you guys can watch the recordings of the missed classes in isaac.com. Isn't that easy? You can watch the recordings in the class calendar option itself. So you guys will never miss a single session. Every session is there in isaac.com. That means before the exam, you guys can revise it very easily. And not only that, if you guys are not able to join a session, let's say you have some kind of an emergency, the class will never be lost. The class will always be under the calendar option. And thanks, Yumna, for your well wishes. Nabila, again, thanks a lot. You are a O-level pupil indeed in this session. You might find it quite interesting. Nonetheless, remember that this session is solely to the A-level pupils. And then this is an A-level arts subject. It is not general English. So it's not, don't confuse the subjects. It's called subject number 73. It is A-level English language and literature. We call it A-level English for short. And not only that, baby, you guys can join our classes through isaac.com. So one more time, how do you join the classes though? You might remember I told you that you can go under the all classes, live classes option here, right? All classes, live classes option. Here in the left console, look for your subject category is A-level. Your grade, you guys can choose. Your subject is English language and literature, subject number 73. And then you guys have to go under Select your teacher, obviously. That's Javed sir here. I want to know the way to write essay type questions. Absolutely, you can. Galaxy A03. You can join Javed sir's classes. And in the paper class, the class of papers, we teach you how to write essay type questions properly in the class of papers. Okay. Remember, the class of papers and the novel fast track classes are free for the grade 10 and grade 12 and 13 classes. You guys can find the free classes here under the card. For example, if you join the grade 13 class right here on the left, you guys can join the A-level class of papers for free. You guys can join the A-level novel fast track class for free. These days, we are learning Necktie Nasiv, aren't we? You guys can join the 2024 A-level fast track class for free. This is our value package. You pay per month, but per week you have 4 individual independent classes. If you want to join, you click on pay now, and then you are taken to a prompt. You don't want the March recordings. You want to proceed to April, right? April is our new month. Click on that. And then you have 3 options to pay. You can deposit money into our account and upload the slip. You can simply click on pay online, and you guys can pay through any bank cards that you guys have. Isaac.com is bringing in the quality into online education. Be a part of our online class, because I promise you, at the moment in Sri Lanka, there is not a single A-level teacher who teaches like your Javed sir online, physical, anywhere. You would find teachers who are unenthusiastic about the subject, not energetic like your Javed sir. So one more time, we talked about Spring and Fall to a Young Child, 15-line poem, 3 rhyming couplets, 1 rhyming tercet, 3 more rhyming couplets. It has a special technique. What's the technique called? Sprung rhythm, spring neme, sprung rhythm. And not only that, you guys should know that this is a poem by Manley Hopkins, Gerard Manley Hopkins. He is a Victorian era poet. And this poem, that's it, baby. If you know that, you should know that the narrator is talking to a child called Margaret. Where else have we seen the word child? In the title of the poem, Spring and Fall to a Young Child. Margaret is crying, is grieving, is weeping. Genius, you are Vasana Nangi. We see that Margaret is crying because the leaves of the trees are falling. What's the word that was given in the poem? Unleaving. Is unleaving a real word? Or is it a poi word? Is it a neologism? It is a neologism, neither. Remember, Margaret crying over the leaves of the tree falling is not known by her mouth, not known by her mind, rather it is known by her ghost. What do you mean by ghost? Holmana neme, Atmaya, her ghost, her spirit, her soul knows why she is crying. It is the blight man was born for. Man is born for blight. Man is born for suffering, pain. That is why Margaret is crying. Her soul knows that she is crying because of the pain man was born for. And that is the meaning behind this poem. Isn't that easy? However, we can go for like a 10 minutes long break. We'll come back, read the poem, get a good understanding about the poem, and we will even memorize the poem in this class itself, okay? Javed sir is going to show you the shortcut of how to memorize the poem. Should you memorize poems? Absolutely. Only then will you be able to take the knowledge into your A-level exam. I'll see you guys exactly in 5 minutes, okay? Only a 5-minute long break. By the way, our break is sponsored by Isaac.com and then sponsored by Coca-Cola. See you guys in 5 minutes. Oh, hey there. Welcome back. Welcome back. Glad that you guys are still here. Your captain is back again here in the cockpit, here to serve you guys, fly you towards your favorite A and make English language and literature your favorite subject. Here's a question from Nada. So I'm curious to know if there is a deep meaning behind the name Isaac. Absolutely. You guys know, right? There was a scientist called Isaac Newton, right? So what happened was, now this scientist saw our website, okay? What happened? This happened around 200 years ago. He saw our website and then he changed his name to Isaac. How did he see our website? He was sitting under a coconut tree, okay? And I was climbing onto the tree and I had a coconut and an apple in my hand. So I threw the apple on his head because I could have killed him using the coconut. I threw the apple on his head and that is how he discovered gravity. I think you know, right, the story? So that's the reason you have exams and gravity and stuff, because I'm the person who threw the apple on top of that scientist's head in order to thank me, right? Because the reason he found gravity was, he discovered gravity was because I threw the apple onto his head. I could have thrown the coconut, but no, it was a coconut tree. I threw an apple because I was eating an apple and I threw it at him to tell him to get away from the coconut tree. And in a way to thank me, to pay homage to me, he renamed himself as Isaac Newton. And that is how the scientist got his name. We didn't copy his name, okay? That's the meaning behind Isaac, okay? It's named after a scientist, Isaac. You guys might know, obviously, Isaac Newton. Thanks a lot for the question, by the way. Nada, we were inspired by him because, again, he is like a very inspirational person, right? You know, I'm kidding about everything I say lightheartedly. No offense, obviously. But then we were very inspired by Isaac, because he is a scientist and he is a game changer in the history of science. However, we care more about our arts pupils, okay? Because the arts pupils are the people who are going to be running the country in the future, aren't you? You guys are going to work harder than the maths and bio pupils, aren't you guys? Don't forget, sponsored by Pepsi, Coca-Cola. All right. Margaret, are you grieving over Golden Grove unleaving? That is the beginning of the poem, 15-line poem. The poem has 3 rhyming couplets, 1 rhyming trisette, and 3 more rhyming couplets. A, B, B, C, C, D, 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 E, E, F, F, and G, G rhyming scheme. Too easy. When you look at these, are podi Greek wage kali neda. The A has a podi kaalak uda tiyanawa, right? These fall under what rhythm? Spring neme, sprung rhythm, right? Sprung rhythm, easy. Margaret, are you grieving? Who is speaking to Margaret? The narrator is speaking to Margaret. Margaret, are you grieving over Golden Grove unleaving? What do you mean by Golden Grove? Nangi, it begins with a capital letter. That means it is a name of a place, right? The place is called Golden Grove. You guys might know Colombo, Anuradhapura. When you write Colombo, you use a capital letter, right? Colombo, right? So like that, Golden Grove is a place. But remember, a grove, the name is made out of 2 words, isn't it? Golden means gold. Grove is a collection of trees. Can you believe that? A grove, Nangi, remember the word grove, not groove. Grove is a collection of trees, Nangi. A collection of trees, Baba. So the place is called Golden Grove. What can you find in Golden Grove? Now, for example, in Kiribat Goda, you can find Kiribat. And yeah, thanks a lot, Nada, by the way, for being a good sport. It's always an honor to be called your teacher, even though you join our classes. Don't join our classes. Even though you join our seminar for a few minutes, it's always an honor to be called your teacher during these few hours that I am teaching you guys, okay? So in Kiribat Goda, you have Kiribat, right? In Punchi Borella, you have Punchi Borelli, I think. In Golden Grove, you have Golden... No, you have a collection of trees, okay? It's called Golden Grove. In reality, in Kiribat Goda, you don't have Kiribat, right? In Maradana, you don't have Marana and Dana. Hope you understand that. So Golden Grove is the name of a place, but we can assume that there are so many trees in Golden Grove. What's the season? Spring or fall? Fall is the season. What's the reason? Because the leaves of the trees are falling off. What is the word that the narrator uses to say that the leaves of the trees are falling off? Unleaving. Margaret, are you grieving over Golden Grove? Unleaving. There is a technique here, okay? There is a technique here. Can my brilliant, intelligent, smart pupils tell me what's the technique? Leaves like the things of man. Leaves like the things of man. Baba, what's the technique here? When one thing is like another thing, what is it called? Genius, you are Nabila. It is called Salma. Genius, you are Nangi. It is called a simile, right? A simile. When you take two nouns, leaves is a noun, man is a noun, right? Things of man, apologies. Things of man is a noun. That's a simile. Leaves are like the things of man. What things of man? What things of man? Many things, right? We have happiness, we have sadness, we have healthy days, we have sick days. The man has so many things, right? Man owns so many things. Leaves like the things of man. You with your fresh thoughts care for can you? Let me explain this again, okay? One more time. Margaret, are you grieving over Golden Grove unleaving? Margaret is a child. Grieving means she is crying. She is sad. Why is she crying? Why is she sad? She is sad over Golden Grove. Golden Grove is a name of a place, but what do you mean by grove? Grove is a collection of trees, a collection of lions. What's it called? You guys might have done Big Match. Animal Crackers by Richard Dezoiza. If you did Animal Crackers by Richard Dezoiza, 1983, the poem was written, 46 lines. Geniuses. These are my pupils, by the way. Anyone else hasn't done Animal Crackers? What are they doing in school? What are they teaching you in school? Animal Crackers. By the way, Nada, all right, very good. It has a word called pride of lions. What do you mean by a pride of lions, Baba? Pride of lions is a collection of lions, right? Kind of like that. Here's a lion by. These are my trees. This is my lion, okay? Lion. By the way, I believe the lion might look something like, I don't know, like this, right? As like, fangs and, I don't know, man. This is my lion, okay? I'm not a arts teacher, so I don't teach arts. Drawing, that's why it is literature, right? If I can draw, I would not teach literature. I would have taught drawing. So here's the deal. A pride of lions is a collective noun for lions. A grove is a collective noun for trees. What is the name of the place? Kalambu, Anuradhapura, Kiribat, Goda, Maradana, Nemei. Golden Grove. Unleaving. Nada, is it a real word or is it a poi vachanayak? It's fake. Fake words are called alpha. Manuri, they are called genius. You are Nabila. Neologisms. They are called neologisms. Genius. Well done. Proud of you. Okay. Margaret, are you grieving over Golden Grove unleaving? Margaret? Oh, yeah, Ayo, Margaret, are you crying because the trees in Golden Grove are unleaving? Their leaves are falling off. Leaves. Now, this is the first couplet, right? What is the rhyming scheme of the first couplet? Double A, grieving rhymes with unleaving. Leaves like the things of man, you with your fresh thoughts care for can you? You care about leaves like they are things of man. Everybody cares about a man's thing. I mean, things of man, right? Don't you? Isn't that right, Fatima? You care about the things of man, right? What do you mean by a man's thing? I mean things of man, okay? The living of man, life of man, problems of man, good things, bad things, everything of man. Leaves are like the things of man, the problems, the good things, the future, the past of man, the business of man. This right here is a simile, right? There's another good word also, the trades of man. the comings and goings of man. It's a simile. You with your fresh thoughts. When someone has fresh thoughts, are they naki or are they tarunai or gollavage? Fresh thoughts. When you take fresh fruits, are these old and panu gahala leaking fluids? Is that fresh or new? That's fresh, right? So tell me, Nangi, Margaret, the narrator is speaking with Margaret, right? You guys might know Margaret. Is she a child or the narrator's wife? A child, okay. Child is the Margaret is a child. By the way, do you know someone in our syllabus who married when she was a child? Someone got married when she was 12 years old in our syllabus. What was her name? Mona Manida. Rukmani, right? Well done, Sanduni, you're a genius. Rukmani, Alpha, well done, is a child bride in Nectar in a Sieve. You guys might be learning Nectar in a Sieve. Easiest novel out of the 5. Rukmani was a child bride. Rukmani is a child who got married, but not Margaret, okay? Margaret isn't crying because they're going to marry her off. No. Margaret, a child, is crying because Golden Grove is growing or unleaving. Golden Grove is unleaving. You with your fresh thoughts, kiyanne Margaret is a child, right? Margaret is young, like you guys. Golot young neither, like Javed, yeah. How old is Javed? 13 years old. I became 13 only today. Can you believe that? Yeah. Can you? You care about these leaves like they are the things of. Margaret Nangi cares about these leaves like they're a small thing or like they are a big thing, like they are valuable, they are things of man. She cares about these leaves like they are the affairs of man. Can you believe that? That's a simile, right? So easy. Margaret, are you grieving? Margaret, are you crying, Margaret? Over, what's the name of the place? Golden Grove, unleaving, leaves like the things of man. You, with your fresh thoughts, Margaret. Margaret, you have fresh thoughts, Margaret. You with your fresh thoughts, care for, can you care for leaves like they are the things of man? Does Margaret care about the leaves or does she not care about the leaves? How can you prove that she cares about the leaves? Is she like laughing when the leaves are falling off? She's like, she's laughing. Is she laughing with the leaves or is she crying because the leaves have fallen off the trees? Margaret is grieving. Well done, Alpha. Margaret is grieving because the trees are unleaving. She cares about these leaves like they are the things, the affairs of man, the problems of man. And Abba, you're right. Margaret is crying, she's grieving. And here are the 3. Here is the couplet and the tessette, okay? As the heart grows old. Now tell me, will Margaret's heart become old? Or will the full Margaret package become old? Will her heart only become old? Or will her full body become old? Will the full person become old? And yeah, thanks a lot for the positive response, Yumna. Again, your positive responses keeps me going, okay? You guys might wonder, how am I energetic throughout 2 hours straight? The reason is your positive feedback and your attention makes me energetic. Thanks a lot, by the way, okay, Nangi? Here's the deal, though. When we talk about Margaret, she becomes older, right? Not just her heart. Margaret becomes older. Again, a person's leg won't become old. A person's head won't become old. Lungs won't become old. The entire person will become old. As the heart grows older, it will come to such sights colder. What do you mean by a cold sight? A good thing to see or a bad thing to see? Cold sights. As the heart grows older, it will come to such sights called, when you're a Chuti Baba, Montessori Baba, you might not have seen the bad things in the world, right? But as you grow older, you see so many bad things, right? So hope you understand, when Margaret becomes older, as her heart And as Margaret grow older, she will see colder sights. She will see things worse than the leaves falling from the tree. Don't forget that, okay? The entire conversation began with the topic of the leaves falling from the tree. Margaret, are you grieving over Golden Grove? Unleaving leaves like the things of man, you with your fresh thoughts care for. Can you guys believe that I have memorized the poem? It makes learning the poem and teaching the poem so easy. I don't have to use my notes all the time. In the exam, Baba, can you take your notes? And Margaret, are you... Give me a minute, madam, please. Okay, put that in. Margaret, are you... You can't take your notes to the exam. Not like the teachers, right? Teachers can use their notes in the classroom. Teachers can read from a paper, but you guys can't do that. You guys have to work harder than a teacher. I have worked hard and I have memorized the poem. One more time. Margaret, are you grieving over Golden Grove? Unleaving leaves like the things of man, you with your fresh thoughts care for. Can you? As the heart grows older, it will come to such sights colder. By and by means eventually. As time progresses, by and by, nor spare a sigh. It will not spare a sigh. What do you mean by sparing something? Sparing something means not giving something. It will not spare a sigh. What do you mean by sigh, Baba? What do you mean by sigh? It is an exhaling of air to show your happiness or your sadness. Hayo, ha. A sigh, S-I-G-H, okay? A sigh is something that you do, a exhaling of air when you want to show sadness. Ayo, ha, sighing, okay? Ha. So her heart will not spare a sigh. When she gets older, will she see better things or worse things? When she gets older, who is she? She is Margaret. As the heart grows older, it will come to such sights colder. The more older she becomes, she's going to see more colder things, heartless things, emotionless things, horrible things. By and by, nor spare a sigh. You will not spare a sigh, okay? You will not stop sighing. You will not stop feeling sad. True, right? When you were in Montessori, there were not many problems. But when you grow older and older, you guys get your hearts broken, you get scolded, you fail, and you feel more sad, right? Now, usually Montessori children are so happy, aren't they? But the more older you get, and when you go towards becoming an adult, you feel more and more sad. You get more and more depressed. Isn't that true? That is what the narrator is telling Margaret. As the heart grows older, it will come to such sights colder. By and by, nor spare a sigh. It will not spare a sigh. Margaret, you will keep on crying, nor spare a sigh. The worlds of wormwood leaf me lie. We talked about wormwood. Are these real words or are these poi words? What do you think? These are poi. These are called neologisms. They are called neologisms. The worlds of wormwood leaf me lie. Are there really worlds or is this a metaphor? It's a metaphor, right? Are there many worlds? There's only one world, right? It's a metaphor. Worlds of wormwood leaf me lie. Nangi, worn means pale. When do you become pale? When you are healthy or when you are sick? When you are sick. Wormwood means pale wood. The wood is becoming pale. Leaf meal. Leaves are breaking into pieces. The leaves are decomposing. When does this happen? What is the season where wormwood and leaf meal lie? What's the season, Baba? It's given in the title. It is fall or Genius Yuva Salma, autumn indeed. So due to autumn, there are worlds of wormwood leaf meal. They are lying. What do you mean by lying? Boru kiyenawa? Or what, in this case, what does lie mean? They are lying on the floor, right? So one more time. Margaret, are you grieving over Golden Grove? Unleaving leaves like the things of man, you with your fresh thoughts care for, can you? As the heart grows older, it will come to such sights colder. By and by, nor spare a sigh. What do you mean by nor spare a sigh? Margaret will keep on sighing. Hayo, hapachie, ha. Hansi, whenever you're right, lying on the ground, obviously. Who is lying on the ground? Margaret? Oh, no. These are wormwood leaf meal. Are these real words? No, they are not. They are neologisms. They are fake words. Wormwood, leaf meal, lie, and yet you will weep and know why. Still you will cry and know why. Margaret will know the reason why she is weeping, right? Margaret will know the reason why she is crying, even though right now Margaret is crying over Golden Grove unleaving. What do you mean by Golden Grove? It is a place, right? Like Kiribat Goda, like Kurunduwatta, like Applewatta, Polgahavela, Ambagas Hatarahandia, like that. Golden Grove is a place like Higgashandia, like Maharagama is called Higgashandia. Golden Grove is a place. So why was Margaret crying? She was crying because Golden Grove was unleaving. The leaves in Golden Grove was Batuna Neda. Too easy, okay? As the heart grows older, it will come to such sights colder. By and by, nor spare a sigh. The worlds of wormwood leaf meal lie. I told you, are there really worlds? Or is this a metaphor? It's a metaphor. There can't be many worlds, right? Worlds of wormwood leaf meal lie. You will keep on crying, Margaret, and yet you will weep and know why. You will cry, Margaret, and you will know the reason why you are crying. Here's the other part of the poem, okay? We talked about these words. Wormwood means pale wood. Leaf meal means the leaves are in pieces. Nangi, these are called neologisms. Meva atta vachanada, meva poyi vachanada. These are fake words. Wormwood and leaf meal represent the season. What's the season, Baba? It's autumn, right? Another word for autumn given in the title. What's the word? It's called, geniuses you guys are, fall indeed. Here we are, too easy. Now, no matter child the name, what's the name of our child here? Margaret, right? Ma. Perfect. Now, no matter child the name, sorrows, springs are all the same. Nangi, spring ke mukhatte eliyata enne. That is another word, spring here, okay? You guys might know what comes out of a spring. Water. Water comes out of a spring. Does the word spring have another meaning? Yes. Two meanings, right? One meaning is a spring, spring, right? Spring mattress. And another meaning, spring is a season, right? But here, out of these three meanings, what is the main meaning that we're going to get? Water, right? A place where water shoots out. Now, no matter child the name, sorrows, springs are the same. Now tell me, sorrow, it means sadness. Does sadness come out of water springs? Or is that also a metaphor? Can sadness come out of a water spring? No, that is also a metaphor. Salma, genius you are, Nangi. Metaphor indeed. Here we are. Sorrow springs. Sadness comes out of a spring. Now, is this spring different from child to child? Or is it same for all children? Is sadness different from person to person? For example, if someone slaps you and someone slaps me, we get the same sadness, right? I won't feel happier. Slap me, baby. I won't be like that, right? You and I are going to feel the same sadness. Sorrow springs are all the same. Now, no matter child, the name, child like Javed sir, right? Javed sir is like a child, right? Now, no matter child, the name, it doesn't matter who the child is. Sorrow springs are the same. Now we're going to talk about the next section, okay? Why is Margaret crying? Margaret is crying because the Golden Grove is unleaving. Leaves from Golden Grove is falling. Why is it falling though? It's falling because of the season called spring, May. Fall, right? Autumn. And now Margaret is crying. The narrator sees Margaret crying and says, hey, Margaret, are you crying because the leaves in the trees in Golden Grove are falling down? You care about these leaves like the things of man. You with your fresh thoughts care for, can you? You have fresh thoughts, Margaret. What do you mean by fresh thoughts? Margaret is old. No, Margaret is young, right? How can you prove that she's young? Margaret has expired thoughts or fresh thoughts? Margaret has fresh thoughts. You with your fresh thoughts, care for, can you? As the heart grows older, it will come to such sights colder. As your heart becomes older, Margaret, as you become old, it will come to such sights colder. It will see things that are not warm. It will see things that are sad, that are depressing. Though and by, nor spare her sigh. What do you mean by nor spare her sigh? You will keep on crying. You will keep on crying by and by, nor spare her sigh. So remember, when you were in Montessori, you didn't feel sad all the time, right? But when you become an adult, you have problem over problem. People bring problems into your life that you are always sad, right? Your friends, your family members, your neighbors, right? These opa-dupa people, they bring problems into your life that you're always sad, right? As the heart grows older, it will come to such sights colder. By and by, nor spare as I, the worlds of one would leave me lie. And yet you will weep and know why. Margaret, you are going to keep crying and you'll know the reason. How many couplets are in the poem? 3 rhyming couplets, 1 rhyming trisset, 3 more rhyming couplets. Altogether, how many rhyming couplets do you have in Spring and Fall to a young child? You have 6 rhyming couplets, 1 rhyming trisset. Hope you understand that, okay? A couplet is 2 lines that have the same ending rhyme. To find the rhyme, you have to look at the monocal. You have to look at the conical. Too easy, right? Now, no matter child, the name, sorrow springs are the same. Nor mouth had, nor mind expressed. So I told you, whose mouth is this? Whose mind is this? Fatima's mouth and mind, or Margaret's mouth and mind? Margaret's mouth and mind, right? The narrator is talking about Margaret's body parts. I mean, she's a child. Narrator is sus, okay? He's doing harami vela, I think, but you get the point, right? Margaret's mouth nor mind told her. They don't understand. Mataka the maker. Do you remember the short note? Her mouth and mind doesn't understand. What can understand though? What do you think, Nangi? Margaret's mouth and mind can't understand. But what will understand? The reason behind her crying. We talked about it. There's a word called ghost. What do you mean by ghost here? Yaka Holmana? No, it is her soul and her spirit. All right? Her mouth can't understand. Her mind can't understand. But her soul, her spirit will understand. What does it understand? Now, no matter, no mouth, nor mind expressed, nor mouth, nor mind expressed. The mouth did not express. The mind did not express. What heart heard of? The heart heard of this, okay? And ghost guessed. Her heart understands. Her ghost understands. It is the blight man was born for. It is Margaret you mourn for. Tell me words that are similar to mourn. Why is nor repeated? That is due to the rhythm, right? Sprung rhythm. No, mourn, Baba, mourn. Words that are similar to the same meaning to the word mourn. Mourn means crying, right? Another word for crying is weep. In the poem, right? Weep. Margaret, are you grieving? Do you remember? Grieve Grieve, grieve. All of these words have the what meaning? They have the same meaning, baby. Margaret, are you grieving over Golden Grove unleaving? And yet you will weep and know why. It is Margaret you mourn for. Why is Margaret crying throughout the poem? Margaret is crying because she understands. Does she understand, or her heart and ghost understand? What do you mean by heart and ghost? Margaret's heart and Margaret's ghost. Her soul understands something. What is that? Man was born for blight, right? Man was born for suffering. Man was born for sadness. Man was born for disease. Can someone tell me another poem in your syllabus where the word blight was found? Another genius you are, Salma. Anyone else? Half so well done. Designed by Robert Frost. I found a dimpled spider, fat and white, on a white heel, all holding up a moth, like a white piece of rigid satin cloth. Assorted characters of death and blight. Blight means disease. That's designed by Robert Frost. Why is design and spring and fall to a young child different? Design is a what sonnet? It is a pet Rakan sonnet. But then when you talk about Spring and Fall to a Young Child by Gerard Manley Hopkins, is this a sonnet? No, it is a poem because it doesn't have 14 lines. It has 15 lines. Sonnets must have 14 lines and must have a formal rhyming scheme. This poem has a formal rhyming scheme, but it has 15 lines. That is why this poem is not a sonnet. So one more time before we leave, you guys know the meaning behind the poem, right? What is the name of the girl crying? Kiyanna satapata chatagala kiyanna mage deyo. Her name is Margaret. Margaret was grieving over Golden Grove, unleaving her. Why is she crying though? Her mouth doesn't understand why she is crying. Her mind doesn't understand what she is crying. Her heart understands why she is crying. And her ghost understands why she is crying. Why is she crying? What's the word? A word we found in Genius you are, Salma. A word we found in Designed by Robert Frost also. Blight. What do you mean by blight? Blight means disease. And then the word blight, right, is found in Design. And this is blight of cow, the blight of man. Man is born for disease, right? The older you get, you're going to get disease. Even these days, I have like a fever that is not going away for some reason. Everyone I know are sick. And even I have had a fever for like 3 weeks, man. So man is born for disease, right? You can never be 100% healthy man. You are going to face some kind of a disease. Man, woman, doesn't matter. That is the meaning behind Designed by Robert Frost. If you want to join our classes, here's the WhatsApp number. Screenshot tag Gagan. Send me a message. If you want any things regarding how about the tutorials? If you need the tutorials, if you want to know about the syllabus, if you want to know how to join the class, if you want the free tutorials of all the lessons, you can drop me a message through WhatsApp. I would also appreciate if you can give me your feedback. If you want to scold Javed, sir, if you want to praise me, if you want to have any kind of conversation regarding the syllabus, drop me a message through WhatsApp. But before you leave, tell me, Nang, how many lines do you have in Designed by Robert Frost? There were 15 lines. The poet, apologies. Spring and Fall to a Young Child by Gerard Manley Hopkins had 15 lines. How many rhyming couplets? 3 rhyming couplets, 1 rhyming tercet, 3 more rhyming couplets. What's the rhyming scheme? Kone kale diha balala hoya gatta neda hoya. A, B, B, C, C, D, E, F, G was the rhyming scheme. 3 rhyming couplets, 1 rhyming tercet, 3 more rhyming couplets. The poem revolves around a girl called Margaret who is crying over a place called Golden Grove, losing its leaves. Due to what is it losing its leaves? It is losing its leaves due to fall, due to autumn. And the poet, no, the narrator, right? Remember, the poet and the narrator are the same person. No, the narrator sees Margaret crying and advises her. What were the neologisms we found in the poem? Unleaving, We also found worn wood. And then we finally found leaf meal. Unleaving කියන්නේ කොළ හැදෙනවද කොළ වැටෙනවද කොළ වැටෙනවා illegal bulure. Unleaving leaf meal means the leaves are decomposing, breaking into smaller pieces. And worn wood means the wood is paling. Why are the leaves falling down? Why are the leaves breaking into smaller pieces? Why is the wood losing its color? The reason is because of the season called autumn or fall, Spring and Fall to a Young Child by Gerard Manley Hopkins. He is a Victorian poet. And apart from that, this is a 15-line poem that revolves around a child called Margaret. Margaret was crying because of Golden Grove was losing its leaves and color because of the season called autumn. Margaret's mind and mouth can't understand, but her heart and her ghost, her soul, her Atmaya, right? In Sinhala, we call it her spirit understands. Man was born for, one word, Baba. Man was born for blight. That is why Margaret was crying before we leave, baby. Here is the poem one more time. Memorize the poem with Javed, sir. Margaret, are you grieving over Golden Grove unleaving? Leaves like the things of man. You with your fresh thoughts care for, can you? As the heart grows older, it will come to such sights colder. By and by, nor spare aside, though worlds of worn wood leave me lie, and yet you will weep and know why now. No matter, child, the name, sorrow's springs are the same. Nor mouth had, nor mind expressed what heart heard of. Ghost, guessed. Whose ghost? Margaret's archie ghost, or Margaret's soul? Margaret's soul. What heart heard of, ghost guessed. It is the blight man was born for. It is Margaret you mourn for. If you understood the poem, put your hands up, baby. If you've got a good understanding regarding the poem, I want to see your hands up. You know how to reach out to Javed. There's so many things to talk about, so many things to learn about. Thanks a lot for being a part of the seminar. These 2 hours was awesome. Even for me, it felt amazing. It is your hard work that makes me want to keep working. It is your hard work that makes me want to make you the best. You are better than commerce and bio and maths pupils. You are going to be the people who are going to run the world. Reach out to me through WhatsApp, join our classes, support our cause. It's always an honor, always a pleasure to be called your teacher. Absolutely, Galaxy A03. You're right. You understood Spring and Fall to a Young Child properly. Thanks a lot, by the way, Alpha. Again, it's always an honor, always a pleasure to be called your teacher. Dab with Javed, sir, baby. Flex with Javed, sir.